Hello everybody. Today I'm going to do a little bit of demonstration and a little bit of shaving. Since I've been working with the Personna 74 blade, and in fact today the shave I'm going to do is going to be number 23, and I'm going to do it in my vintage Jinjay razor, which the last shave I did was phenomenal. It virtually renewed this blade, and in my perception of it, I kind of thought the blade was going to be dying out. I've been trying different razors all along. I found that razors that are sort of within the generation of the Personna 74, which it was created in 1970 and was produced for maybe 3 or 4 years. But the super speed style razors, the straight solid bar razors tend to work a little bit better. Milder razors I sort of thought worked a little bit better, but I found this particular straight bar, which is, of all of my vintage razors, I would say, although I've never used an R41, from just looking at it and the descriptions of how it shaves from other people, I would say the Jinjay razor, which is a Dutch-made vintage razor, not very many of them around anymore. It's probably the most aggressive straight bar that I've ever shaved with, and it's on par with the Matador, the Toro Mastiff, and I'm going to use this as a demonstration today, and I'm also going to use the Razor Rock Jaws head on the Goliath XL that's on loan to me from Tyler Bowman. But it started me thinking about razor design. What's the function of the bar? What's the function of the lather? And I want to discuss with you and do a short little demonstration open comb razors versus solid bar razors. Why? Now, if you look back into the history of razors, there's a lot of the early razors are open comb. The Gillette old style is an open comb. The Gillette new is an open comb. And that goes all the way up into the 30s, 40s, 50s. One of the first aristocrats was an open comb, only produced for a few years back in the 1930s. And the aristocrat was the first twist to open style razor. Then going back on single edge razors, the very first Gem 1912 version, or Damascene Gem, was an open comb. Wasn't produced very long, but it was an open comb. And then they closed in the bars and made it sort of an open comb closed bar. And it wasn't until the Gem Micromatic open comb that Gem brought back in the open comb. So that history is reversed in the single edge of what the double edge history was. Double edge history, open comb evolved into straight bar. Gillette Tech was one of the first straight bars. Aristocrat, and then it went into the super speeds. And the the Fat Boy, the Gillette 195, the Gillette Slim, and then all those razors. The Personna 74 blade gives real good shaves on the super speeds. But the various open combs that I've tried it with, not so great. It's a little bit rougher. It still performs okay, but it was just a sensation of being rough. So I started doing some research. And went back and on the forums on Badger and Blade, Shave Nook, Shave Den, just doing general Google search, looking back in some of the old books I have on shaving. Not a lot of really authoritative discussion, a lot of speculation. One speculation is that, well, the first thing that guys didn't shave very often. So they had a real thick, heavy beard. So they needed the combs to comb in through the hair. Maybe. But I don't think so. One argument that was put up on the boards was, well, it was just simpler to manufacture. It was cheaper to manufacture a solid bar razor. So that's why the manufacturers started doing solid bar razors. Yeah, probably so. But why? And this little demonstration I want to do, I think, will bring the point of what I believe it is. And I've heard Paul Humphreys in one of his more recent videos say the exact same thing. I'm going to put a little bit of water on one side of my face. I'm going to use some canned cream just to make a consistent lather that I can spread smooth and consistently across my cheek. That's pretty evenly distributed. When I started playing with this to figure out how to do this demonstration, I'd forgotten how sticky and gooey this stuff is. Okay. Razor Rock Jaws. It's the exact same. If you bought a Matador open comb, which they're not selling them anymore, but when they did, it was my understanding it's the same as the Razor Rock Jaws head, which is the same as a Cadet, same as a Pearl, same as a Sabi open comb, same head. Okay, so the basic understanding is maybe comparable. I don't know. Watch when I do. I don't have any razor blades in these, because when you got a razor blade in it and doing this demonstration, all the lather is removed because the blade removes it. But before the blade gets to the whisker, what happens to the lather? Just look. Can you see? There's a little bitty slight residue of cream there. Look here. See there? There's a lot of cream that's pushed up and surrounds that blade. If that blade were in there. Okay. Now, close bar. Not any more pressure. There's still a little bit of residue, but a lot more of that cream has been removed. Not nearly as much cream gets to the blade as it did with the open comb. So, in looking at all the discussions all the things people have said, the reason why you have a straight bar. You know, the idea is that with daily shaving, guys shaving all the time, after World War II, didn't need open comb anymore because guys didn't have real heavy beards. I don't buy that. But the dynamics of the shave cream and the dynamics of open comb. Most people think of open comb, they go aggressive. True. Most open comb razors are designed to be more aggressive than a straight bar. Why is that? It's because with an open comb, more of the cushioning, slick lather remains on the face as the blade encounters the whisker. It cushions it from a more aggressive razor. Now, aggression with a razor is due to the gap between the bar and the blade and the exposure, how far out that blade goes from that head. Those are the two major factors that contribute to aggression. Now, of course, pressure or the weight of the razor also contributes. But a straight bar razor, you can use a milder shaving razor and remove the lather, and it will still be smooth. To compensate for a more aggressive razor, it makes sense to have a more open comb that allows more of that cushioning, soothing lather to be there when that blade encounters the whisker. That's what I believe. That's the most logical and reasonable explanation to me, because the history of razors isn't consistent. Single edge style razors started off with an open comb and did away with it until much, much later. It's the aggression that the open comb compensates for. The most aggressive razor that a lot of people say is the R41. It allows for most of that lather to be scraped away, but it's got little bitty teeth, but it's still a straight bar. Same way with the Jinjay razor. You look at the configuration of that razor, it looks a lot like an R41. It's got a pretty big gap to let the lather flow through, but also it's got some teeth there to kind of resist it. So that's my little demonstration. That's my argument. I've heard a lot of people talk about, what's the difference between open comb, and a lot of people on the forums just say, well, preference, way it feels. It has to do with the aggression. The more aggressive gap there is in that razor, it's better suited to have an open comb that allows for more of the cushioning cream to remain on the face. There we go. Okay. Now this shave number 23. My Jinjay razor. I'm going to go through it pretty quickly. I'm going to use my Vylon horsehair, and I'm going to test out a sample of St. Charles Soap, St. Charles Shave pipe tobacco. And they've got a pretty neat little thing here. They have a little piece of plastic that's in the back of their samples that they molded in. And I'm just going to put it in a little container like this and push that down there. Drop my brush. Get some water going. But I've looked at all, Mantic 59 on his site, and a lot of the other bloggers and writers talking about open comb razors. They kind of shy away from the whole subject because they don't have very good answers. And I don't know where Paul Humphreys got his idea, but he said it recently, and it's what I've always thought about whenever I thought, why is there an open comb? It's to compensate for aggression. I normally bowl lather with this, but I'm doing just face lather. I haven't put any pre-shave on. The smell of the pipe tobacco it's pretty mild, but it's aromatic. It's not overpowering, and we may just do a pass or two, and that's maybe all I need. But I have to use a very, very light touch with the open combs. With this and the non-vintage razors, I was having to do real short strokes to get a comfortable shave. If I did the long strokes like this, it was starting to get a little tuggy. This razor, I can do the long strokes. It's just like putting a brand new 7 o'clock or Astra feather. I had used my last shave, that Goliath UFO extra large handle. And it was very, very difficult holding back the pressure. It's a real, real pleasant smell. And the St. Charles soaps, they're primary glycerin soaps, but really, really easy to lather, thick, slick, nice aromas. Now, granted, with this Gingy razor, you can really feel that blade. It's a very aggressive shave. And I don't know exactly why these blades perform so much better with a straight bar than open comb. But I think the makeup of those blades, the coating, they've got a titanium coating, and tungsten steel. And tungsten steel makes them very, very durable. That is near baby butt smooth with 2 passes. I'm going to stop right there. A little bit of cool water. I can do some touch-ups on my neck if I wanted to. And it would be just a very short walk to get baby butt smooth. Very, very short walk. I'm going to put on some Florida water. Jim Heiss and I were doing a short little discussion about Florida water. And it's such a nice face feel. It's got a kind of spicy, not exactly bay rummy type of smell, but it's an old-fashioned type of smell. And I asked him what makes this so different. He's a barber. I said, what makes this so different? And he says, it's the Fountain of Youth on the cover. They make it with magical water. But really, it really feels nice on the face. And I'm going to put on some After Original Skin Conditioner Aftershave. I find it goes real well. The smell blends real well with the Florida water. That's my shave, number 23. And there's going to become a point in time where this blade is going to peter out, no longer work well. I kind of thought that we would be getting close to that by now. I figured 25, but I think this blade's got a lot more life in it. These Personna 74 blades, they've got a lot of life endurance in them. St. Charles pipe tobacco, a nice aroma. St. Charles soaps has got some fabulous aromas. Smoking beads. Trying to think of the other one. Smoking beads. Dagger. 2 that I would recommend. Really, really nice, inexpensive soaps. They range from $6, $7. They have specialty soaps. Maybe it might be a little bit more expensive. I think they got a special going on a new really menthol kick type soap I saw on Facebook, I think it was. And then they've just come out with a new Old Spice that eventually one of these days I'm going to try, but I've got a whole bunch of pups I got to get through before I do that. So, till later, good shaves, be happy, be safe. We'll talk with you later. I'm going to do another shot here.